Grab your popcorn, rip that ticket, get in that seat, lickety-split. Go watch a movie!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Go Watch a Movie, episode 109. I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
Today, we are doing the sequel to the amazing horror film, The Shining, Dr. Sleep. And for the rest of the podcast, I want to be called Crow Daddy. Before we get into
Crow Daddy.
Before we get into that, a little bit of entertainment news. First of all, Disney Plus has arrived, and with it, they brought a few shocks and surprises. Most we knew everything. The biggest shock and surprise was that long-awaited, deleted Iron Man Endgame scene was released on Disney Plus exclusively, attached to Endgame. Do you want to know about this? Because I don't want to spoil anything for you.
Go right ahead.
So this one, I'm glad they actually cut it, because now that I've seen it, I wouldn't quite have given Tony the impact after the snap. So he snaps, and much like Thanos at the end of Infinity War, goes into that the Soul Stone and sees Gamora. Tony goes to that place and sees a grown-up Megan, his daughter. They have a nice long conversation and a heartwarming conversation, that sort of thing. He still dies and everything. It's just he gets to see his daughter grown up. His conscience gets to see her grown up, and she's like, "I love you," and he does the whole "I love you 3000" thing. Pretty touching, but I'm glad it was cut because it, like I said, I don't think it would have had the impact. What do you think? You think it would have?
Yeah, I agree with you. It shouldn't. That's probably why they took it out, because some test screening probably saw that wasn't a good idea.
Mm-hmm. But very smart of them to add that onto the the version that's on Disney Plus. Get a few more dollars.
Yeah, how about those dollars?
Sonic has been remade. An entire movie studio was bullied by the internet into redesigning a character. I don't know how much that would have cost them.
I don't know, but would you want to release it having it looking like that, and then having everybody just bash
that backlash?
It? Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess they did the right thing, but yeah, he looks like Sonic now. Right. I guess it was a smart thing to do. Lastly, Mr. Dwayne Johnson a few hours ago put out the long-awaited artwork, early artwork for his Black Adam movie, and it now has a release date, 12/22 of 2021. Yeah. I don't know. I know you have a few issues with him, a little. I don't know how much, but I'm curious. I'm more curious than anything.
I'm curious too, but I mean,
of how he plays this, because
I don't know. He plays all of his characters almost the same, though. He's going to probably do that. He's going to do the eyebrow thing at some point. He
needs to be. I don't know, because he wrote this very long speech, which is fine. I'm excited that he's excited, but he needs to go bad.
Yes.
And isn't Black Adam a villain?
I thought he was.
He keeps referring to him as a superhero in this long speech that is rebellious and does things of his own way.
They're not rewriting it. I'm going to have to look this up now and see what's going on.
I'm not sure why. Yeah. And I know he's a major Shazam villain, but yeah, so I'm not sure if they're going to rewrite Black Adam to kind of fit that, or...
Ooh, that's going to make some people mad.
Yeah. Well, let me find the exact quote here. Black Adam is blessed by magic with the powers equal to Superman, but the difference is he doesn't toe the mark or walk the line. He's rebellious. He's a rebellious, one-of-a-kind superhero who will always do what's right for the people, but he does it his way. truth, and justice the Black Adam way. So, yeah, I was always in the impression that Black Adam was a bad guy. Maybe The Rock didn't know that.
All right, possible.
But, and even the poster is like him hovering above destruction. There's a skeleton there. I don't know. I just found that funny and curious. But, yeah.
Well, we're going to see.
We will see. That's a few years, 2 years out, but well, I guess almost 1 year now because we're approaching the end of 2019. But that will bring us to let's discuss the showbiz. This one, it kind of goes off a little bit of what we talked about last week. Typecasting. Do you feel that it's right to typecast, to pigeonhole an actor? Like we've talked about how like Keanu Reeves kind of has a niche. He has a place where he fits in movies. Mm-hmm. Is that a bad thing? Good thing. What do you think?
I don't think it's a bad thing, but well, I can see it from a couple different points. Like I'm sure like an actor wants to be able to show their range and show how good they are, but at the same time, when you find that thing that you're awesome at, that you do the best, yes. There's nothing wrong with riding that wave. But at the same time, I understand them wanting to, like from an actor's point of view, wanting to be able to branch out and then show their range and show what else they can do besides just that one little thing, that one little trick.
Example. Keanu Reeves, we have a role for you, sir. Yes. This role is Forrest Gump. Oh, yeah. He's a mentally challenged person who goes through these extraordinary things. We want to walk through this with you. All right. Well, so in this scene, you bracelets across your legs this entire time, but now they're gone, and you want to describe that you were running. Yeah. Okay. The braces are gone, and I was running. That's not what we're looking for exactly. You see what I'm getting at here?
But maybe that's not the best. Keanu Reeves isn't the best example. Not saying he's a bad actor.
That's my whole point. Like, he has a certain place he fits in, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that because he fits very well in that place.
Yes, I love me some Keanu Reeves, but yeah, he isn't for every role.
No.
Just like I'm not for every role in life. I can't be, a doctor or, a mechanic or something. I'm not.
Believe in yourself.
What's that?
Believe in yourself.
No, but still, it's like, I don't know no matter how much Keanu Reeves is going to believe in himself, he couldn't have been able to pull off a really good Forrest Gump.
Do you think there are everyman actors? And I know instantly people will say Daniel Day-Lewis, but I don't know if he could do just straight up action.
I think there's people who are on different levels, and I think that there's probably somebody out there that could pull off everything.
Right,
but there's also no, not at all. But there's also people who do, just a singular thing really, really well. And there's nothing wrong with having a craft and that's just your thing. Mm-hmm. Like there's people who like cook like ramen noodles or something over in Asia, and that's all they do every day. They make, the perfect ramen noodles. Mm-hmm. And they just do it day after day after day after day. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Same way with an actor. If that's all you can pull off, that's your best thing, then there's nothing wrong with just pulling that off day after day after day.
Yeah. Yeah. I see. Yeah.
But I can understand if people want to be able to show, but if you don't have it, you can't show it. So if you do have it, then yeah, you should be able to go anywhere you want to go.
That's well said. Nothing else to say after that. That will bring us to trailers. You first or me, sir?
Go right ahead.
All right. This one, I didn't see the original, but I'm pretty sure it's a remake. Fantasy Island?
I thought that was a TV show.
Okay. Well, yeah, I knew it was something.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what. But yes, Fantasy Island, horror film coming out. Yeah, it is basically people get to an island, and this island is magical. It's wonderful. It's full of basically delight, whatever you want, and everyone gets their one fantasy fulfilled. And one girl, it seems like a pretty stuck-up valley girl, and she is her fantasy is to get back at somebody who wronged her in high school. And then the next scene, they show her down there, and the chick who wronged her in high school is strapped to a chair, and she thinks it's a hologram, like Tupac, as she points out. And it turns out, nope, it's really her. And they kill her, and they torture her and all that stuff. But yeah, apparently, whatever fantasy you want, this island produces it in a horrible way and enacts it. Looks pretty interesting. Looks cool.
Yeah, I did see that trailer. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool looking. Mine is a low budget. Well, I'm assuming it's low. It looks low budget. It's a low budget sci-fi flick here. It's called The Mandela Effect. It starts out. It's like there's a mom and a dad and a daughter. They're like a super happy family. The parents, the dad's talking about how, having a kid has changed his life and how it's just so much, everything's just perfect, basically. And then it doesn't tell you how, but then I guess somehow the little girl dies. And then he's in bed, and then he hears a voice. He hears her voice, like a ghostly voice. So he gets up and then sees like this kind of sort of digital image of her that in the shadows that disappears. So then he starts remembering stuff. Like, he'll look at a picture and he's like, well, we didn't take that picture there. It was taken someplace else. But why is it the picture somewhere where we didn't go? It's like he's like crossing in between like dimensions or something, like different like parallel universes. So then it introduces that idea. And then it introduces the idea that maybe all of this is just a simulation. That's not really real. And he's like, well, I can fix that because I make video games. I know how to write code. And then there's like this part where he goes through, he's trying to write code, and he's trying to somehow find where he can, I guess, input this code to change the world. I don't know. It looks like I said, low budget, but I think the idea of it is really, really promising, and I hope that it actually turns out because I think that's a really good idea.
I'm gonna have to check that one out because it sounds good. Damn. What was that called again? The
Mandela Effect.
The Mandela Effect. Okay. Like Nelson Mandela?
I think so. It shows a picture of him in the trailer, so I'm assuming.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that will bring us to Dr. Sleep. Watchbot, if you would not mind.
Struggling with alcoholism, Dan Torrance remains traumatized by the sinister events that occurred at the Overlook Hotel when he was a child. His hope for a peaceful existence soon becomes shattered when he meets Abra, a teen who shares his extrasensory gift of the shine. Together, they form an unlikely alliance to battle the True Knot, a cult whose members try to feed off the shine of innocence to become immortal.
Thank you, Watchbot. Okay. So, a sequel that some people said should not have happened. Some people believed in because they read the book. Yeah, I think it should have happened because I had a blast at this movie.
It was a good movie.
I had never read the book, so I went in blind. But from what I learned from the movie, I thought it was a great sequel and connection that had connection with the first movie. And I love that they tried to recast some of the people.
Yeah.
The mom got the breathiness right of the original chick. But yeah. Yeah. What do you think of this one, sir?
I thought, again, I haven't read the book. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert, but I got to say the movie was super enjoyable. I didn't think that they could make a sequel to
one of the best horror movies of all time.
Right. But it is Kubrick's Shining, so it's like his version of the book. So it's not exactly what probably Stephen King wanted, but it's probably pretty close. I know Kubrick likes to add a lot of hidden stuff, and I don't know how much of that. Yeah. What's that?
Hidden symbolism and all that crap.
Yeah, so I don't know how much he changed it, but I mean, this doesn't feel like The Shining at all. It feels like a totally other movie, and I think they could have even made this something other than connected with The Shining. It would have made sense. It didn't have to have I guess the ending would have had to have been changed quite a bit, but you could have been anybody with just that gift or whatever. It didn't necessarily have to be, Danny Torrance from the original Shining. But yeah, I think it could have been something else, but I'm not really mad at it that it's connected to The Shining, because it made good use of some of the things that happened in The Shining, and it forms a pretty interesting movie. I didn't think they could do it, but they did.
I missed Tony, the mouth monster, the finger monster.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, damn it.
I guess, but I don't know. I thought he was in there. I thought he was going to pop up for a while, but then he doesn't. So,
But I really love what they did. Like you said, this didn't need to be a direct sequel. It flowed well enough to be its own thing. Mm-hmm. But I like where they took it. I like seeing some of the rehashes of the older monsters, or spirits, or overlooked. There we go. Overlooked. Because I like the explanation of the overlooked as well, because we don't get that in The Shining. It's kind of, these things are here, But yeah, I really enjoyed getting that. And normally I don't like that. I like to be with some, like horror movies especially, I like not knowing, it adds to the fear. But yeah, and especially the old lady in the bathtub. Yes. Let's talk about this old lady in the bathtub, because she is probably the most prevalent overlooked. Apparently after The Shining, Danny kept having issues with this old lady in the bathtub. And what's the old gentleman's name who taught him about The Shining?
I can't remember it now.
That old man showed him a box and said, you need to learn this box, get to know this box, and start making them in your head, because you're something special and you can get rid of these overlooked that way. Now, my question to you, sir, was that a metaphor? Because shortly thereafter, Danny goes home and he goes in there. He gets up from his mom after they're watching TV, and that old lady's in that bathtub naked, just like in The Shining, draws back the curtain. They do a great job of reenacting. And Danny's like, yep, it's time. He goes in there, and I swear I heard, let's get it on. Yeah. Now, they were talking about old boxes. I'm assuming that was a metaphor for her.
I think you're stretching it.
Because he closed the door, and next thing you know, she's gone.
I'm pretty sure you're stretching it there. I like that idea, what they did with the boxes.
Yes, I'm being silly. But
I mean, it is weird, though, because he's just walking around. No wonder he's jacked up. Yeah. Because he's got all these things in his head that he's got locked away in these boxes. And it's a great idea, but at the same time, it's like, that's gotta mess with you. And doesn't he have to concentrate the entire time to be able to keep those things at bay? Because
he has to have those boxes like locked constantly. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was a brilliant idea. I joke about it, but yeah, that was for sure like awesome. Learn them inside and out. Even smell it, so you know the scent. Because that's going to be these things, prisons, to get them out of your head. Another question, though. What do you think the... damn it. What's the M. Night Shyamalan movie? The first one that did amazing. I See Dead People.
Yeah. Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense. You think that kid was a shiner?
No. I just think he saw dead people. I don't think he was a shiner.
I guess I'm reaching again.
Because he couldn't do anything other than just see him.
Yeah, that's true.
He was just a medium. He could communicate. There are some things in this movie, despite the fact that I am very fond of it. After watching, I want to see it again actually, because I thought it was really good. There are a few. I do have a few couple problems, because I feel I sense other movies in it. So, for instance, they actually use the term pusher describing one of the people in the what would they call them, the knot.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
the China steam eaters.
The little group of people.
Mm-hmm.
There was one person that they actually called a pusher, which made me obviously think of the movie Push.
Yep.
Because there was pushers in that. Actually,
they did that exact same thing.
Yeah, which was like which didn't pull me out of the movie because I was still enjoying it. But I'm like, well, you just kind of stole that, like blatantly. But maybe maybe I'm wrong because I guess the book did probably come out before.
Way before that. Mm-hmm.
But and they also took an idea like the girl hunting down those people, the guys who were taking advantage of younger women. That kind of made me think of Hard Candy a little bit.
For sure.
And then the fact that those people were kind of like vampires in a way.
The whole time. That's what I was thinking. They were like a vampire coven.
They're like a traveling vampire group, which made me think of Near Dark, which is a movie which has a bunch of traveling vampires in it. So it just made me think of all these other movies as I was watching it. So it makes me wonder now that since the book, I might have to look up when the book actually came out. So I wonder if all these movies actually took, these ideas from this book as opposed to. Me thinking they stole all these ideas and put it in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know because they certainly did die just like vampires.
Mm-hmm. There's like a lot of stuff in this movie just reminded me of other stuff, but I guess a lot of stuff does that to me because I watch too many movies.
There's no such thing.
So I'm assuming your favorite character was Crow Daddy, since you would like to be called Crow Daddy.
Crow Daddy was cool. Crow Daddy, he was the voice of reason in that whole. Well, he tried to be the voice of reason.
What was his power though? His shine. What was it?
We never got to see it.
It's other than he just was clever.
He was a shifty.
Was he a tracker? Maybe he was the track. Maybe he was a tracker because I think he came back at the beginning of the movie and was like, "I'm trying to." I think he was the guy
who hunted them all down. You're right.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. That just reminds me of like a mutant from the X-Men. What was the guy's name? Caliban or whatever. Who just it just makes me go everywhere else whenever I think about this one. Yeah.
Go ahead. He was cool. I liked him a lot, Crow Daddy.
I liked Rose the Hat myself.
What? No, there was something special about that hat. Let's get into these characters. What was so special about it? Because she didn't want anybody else to touch it. She used magic out of it. So, and I was expecting something.
She kind of let the little girl touch it when she reached in there to get a flower.
Yeah, that's true. But she was going to eat her, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure why she didn't want anybody to touch her hat. They didn't really explain that in the movie.
Because the lady in the grocery store tried to touch it. But, Dr. Sleep did not come out until 2013.
Whoa.
Oh boy!
There's some. Stephen King may have stole some stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to say that though because he's held as one of the greatest horror writers of all time. But
he watches a lot of movies though.
He does.
Reads a lot of books because he's always making comments like this movie was great or whatever. This book was awesome. So he's taken in a lot. So he's probably using some of that in his own creativity.
Oh yeah,
when he produces new stuff.
Oh man! But Rose the Hat, what did you like about her the most?
Just another without pounding it in our faces, super strong female character, great villain. Mm-hmm. Almost, I don't want to even say it. She was a villain, but in a way, she was also just taking care of her little pack.
Yeah, exactly.
So, kind of, I don't want to say an anti-hero because she was definitely evil, but still, it was great character.
Do you really can you call her evil? Because she's killing kids and eating their steam, but what if these powers are put in the wrong hands, what they're capable of.
I don't know. Still think she was evil, but
because imagine if Deborah went bad. Holy cow.
Yeah, this is true.
But she seemed like she was on the verge. Let's talk about Deborah. Mm-hmm. That little kid.
Abra?
Yeah. Is it Abra?
Yeah.
That little kid was, she was cocky.
Yeah.
I mean, rightfully so. But, because she seemed to have a grasp on her abilities from the start. That magician's doing part of her tricks, and she's like, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I know magic too. I can do that. And he's like, all right, kid, fuck. I think Rose had it right when she was like, all right, bitch child. All right.
That was a nice little standoff. I did like that. And I like how Abra trapped her in her mind.
That was awesome.
Just think of how much of a prodigy she is.
Yeah.
I mean, she could very much take Rose the Hat's place, basically, if she grows up the wrong way.
Yeah, and this chick comes into her mind thinking she has, right away.
Mm-hmm.
Boom trap.
Bam.
And just starts through her file. Oh.
That was an awesome scene. There's so many good scenes in this.
It was almost like a superhero horror movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was, all right, Obi-Wan Kenobi. What do you think of old Obi?
I wish they would have made him look a little less like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
But I got over it.
Grow his hair out, dyed black like Daniel was.
Yeah, he eventually did cut it off, but
yeah.
So shave or whatever, but still, he looked a lot like. And it was fun to see, like, not fun, but it was interesting to see what path his life has taken since the hotel. So
I like that it was fucked up because that would not be a happy ending. Your dad goes crazy, try to kill your mother, and then what he describes how his mother died, what he saw, like Jesus Christ,
right? That is definitely a messed up life.
And his friends Billy or Bobby was the guy who found him. We'll call him Big B. Call him
Big B.
Big B helped. I like that character too. He redeemed himself from Hobbs and Shaw. I
was super sad what happened to him. I don't want to give it all away, but
yeah,
that sucked. I didn't necessarily see that one coming. I figured something bad was going to happen. I just didn't know how bad it was going to get.
Yeah. That scene, that whole trap thing, it was odd to see a gunfight in this type of movie.
I know, it came out of nowhere. You think they would be using their shine power somehow instead of just all of a sudden it's a gunfight. But yeah.
I was like, this is what they're doing, huh?
I like how everybody had a gun. Everybody had a pistol and just started shooting.
Because it was kind of odd, like you said, let me see what these people can do. Apparently they're strong people. And if this was like a vampire movie or something like that, they probably would have used their abilities. But no, pew, 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 pew. I
wonder if it's possible for somebody to accidentally become that. Because all it took is apparently for somebody with the shine to die, and then you just accidentally breathe in some of their steam. Because when Abra kills... Remember when Abra... I guess I just gave it away. Abra kills one of the people, and then she's like walks up to the body while the steam's coming up. If she accidentally breathed that, didn't she basically... Or no? Or does it have to be that whole ritual where they stand in a circle and...
I think it extends your life. I think you already have to have the shining power because all of them were shiners already. But eating the steam of other shiners, I think it just extends your life.
But I remember when the girl, the young one, the new one, was turned. She's like, it felt like I was dying, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then the lady was like, you basically did. It doesn't matter if you're alive, or it doesn't matter if you're still human or whatever.
Which is another vampire.
Yeah.
Because when you drink the blood of a vampire, you die and come back as a.
I'm just wondering because I just distinctly remember Abra walking up to that guy, Crow Daddy, after he dies and there's steam coming up. If she breathes some of that in, then she is basically just becoming, and she's going to hunger for that for the rest of her life, I'm assuming. So isn't she basically just becoming the new Rose the Hat?
Yeah.
Is there a sequel in our future of Abra the Hat? Or?
Sadly, Abracadabra. God damn it. I see what they did there with that name. Sadly, this movie suffered just like fucking Terminator did. Only did about 29-30 million in the box office. And it's kind of making me sad because both of these have been excellent movies. It's just and they're getting great ratings. It's just the turnout isn't what it should be or what I think it should be, I
think it might be because The Shining is such an older movie.
That's true. It's 1977.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of maybe like the hardcore fans are definitely going to go see this, or people who hate it, I don't know if they're going to go see it or not because they don't want it to exist or whatever. But I don't think a lot of the younger people are going because they maybe haven't seen The Shining or have been influenced by it.
It's just I don't know, man. The Shining seems like one of those because that generation is still here, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just worried. I hope because I predicted something a while ago about all these streaming services and everything coming out, and theaters losing a bit of momentum because of that. People don't want to go out as much, especially with it being wintertime here in the States, at least. You know, people don't want to go out as much, and yeah, I don't know.
That's why we shouldn't support all these streaming services so that we get people back into the theaters.
Yeah, go to and I don't want to side with Scorsese and Spielberg and all them when they're like, yeah, these movies don't deserve to get Oscars. They're not movies. They don't go to the cinema. But hey, man, if it's gonna stop people from actually going to cinema, that experience, people, is why we do this podcast. It's a thing in itself. It's its own entity, and I hope it doesn't go away. Get out there and go watch a movie. That's why I end every podcast with that because it's so true. But sorry, we're getting derailed here. Any standout scenes for you in this one?
There were quite a few. I loved pretty much anything that was even remotely supernatural. Yeah. I thought they did a great job. I liked how when she was leaving, like Rose the Hat was leaving her body, how it looked, how she was flying, like when she entered the room, even when Abra left her, body.
That tilt. Tilt
was very awesome. Like before you mentioned when she jumps inside of Rose the Hat's mind and she's going through all the files. Like it's like my mind's like a cathedral compared to yours, like little room or whatever. I like that.
It literally was.
It's massive. And I just, there's all that stuff. The only, like, when they finally get to the hotel, though, I feel like it kind of slowed down for me. Because even the way that he wins in the end, he didn't necessarily have to be in that hotel for that to happen. And really, the hotel didn't really have any effect on her when she
was like happy. She saw the legendary blood gush scene. And it's just like, smile.
She's like, that's my jam right there. And so it was weird. Like, I don't think that really affected her the way that he thought. But I figured, I don't know. Plot-wise, I'm not for sure what he was going with, but I think he just wanted to close it in that place so that it finished that story of. Yeah,
because you're 100% right. I don't think they did not need to go there because he literally had every overlooked from there in his head. Minus the dick sucking bear.
He may have been in there. You don't know. Maybe he just didn't let him out. That's number you don't let out.
I'm keeping you for myself.
But I'm pretty sure he just wanted to end the story there because that's the place, Where else are you going to end this story? If this is a true sequel, where is she going to end it at other than that hotel?
Yeah, I love that was one of my favorite parts, the Shineception, where she thinks she's in Abra's mind, but it's actually Danny's. That was nice.
Even the screaming children as they're being like tortured and then consumed was pretty like almost say fun to watch, but it was like scary, like thrilling. It was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like there's actually this group of people that are just torturing children and then like absorbing their essence. Yeah, just to absorb their essence. It's pretty creepy.
Yes, it was. Go watch it out for you.
Absolutely, go watch. Like I said, it's got great reviews. I mean, why not? It's a sequel to one of the greatest horror movies ever. I think it doesn't beat that one in any way, shape, or form, but it certainly added to it. And this is a rare occasion where like a sequel from something that big didn't ruin the original for me, because sometimes it ruins your view of the original. Like the story continues on in a way you didn't want it to. I think this is perfect the way it is. I think he did a great job making the movie, and Stephen King obviously for writing the story.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely go watch for me. My biggest critique is they did a very poor job of the Jack Nicholson facial recreation or actor. Was not a fan of that. And with the deep fake technology that I've seen around here where they put Jim Carrey's face on Jack Nicholson while he does the legendary Shining scenes, they could have done better.
Yeah, I actually think they shouldn't have even put the old scenes in to the new movie. They should have used the new actors just so it didn't. So at least this film was like cohesive.
Yeah. Instead
of like going back and forth, I think they should have stuck with those new actors who were trying to play the parts from the old movie.
Agreed. But Rotten Tomatoes. The audience agrees with us, and most of the critics do. 90% audience score, 77 tomato meter, which, like I said, it still blows my mind that even with that, this movie's doing so poorly. But that's 2019. Fucking kids. Where you can find us at gowatchmovie.com and anywhere a podcast can be played, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. That's everything, man, for episode 108. We're still shining. I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
All right, bitch child. All right. Get up there and go watch a movie.